Hi, I want to talk to you today about something I did 4 years ago, which was to purchase a website, make some software around that website, and try to sell that software to the consumers on my website. As you'll see, things didn't work out quite as I planned. This episode is sponsored by me. That's right, it's not sponsored by some silly little game that's going to waste hours of every day and in fact waste your entire life because you get addicted to it. It's not sponsored by some scummy little potion that you can mix with milk that turns you into a supposed superhero. No, it is sponsored by me. And how am I sponsoring it? By giving you something completely for free based on my real world experience. These days, I make most of my income as a development freelancer, and my minimum rate is about $120 an hour. Now, usually I do the work in double quick time, so that goes up to $250 an hour, and all of my customers are perfectly happy with that because they get what they want. Now, if that sounds like a fortune to you, just know that you are quite a long way from that point. You're not going to earn that when you start out. But my cheat sheet will show you exactly how you can start. And that's the most important bit, how you can start by becoming a freelancer, doing small jobs in your spare time, and work your way up to the kinds of fees that I and my peers can charge. So if you'd like that cheat sheet showing you how to go from absolute zero, no knowledge, no jobs, no nothing, all the way through to a paid job, then please go to iamdev.net/free and I'll send it direct to your email. I didn't lose any money, in fact I made a bit of money, but I wanted to do this video to show you the reality of software development, indie development life, and how sometimes you can create a great product, but the marketing isn't there, and third-party events that you can't control will destroy your business. I'm always reminded of a quote by Warren Buffett, and I'm paraphrasing here. It doesn't really matter how hard you row, it matters what boat you're in. And as I've discovered with this particular project, I was in the wrong boat within a year or two of acquiring it. Right, so what is this project? Well, this was a website that I purchased called corrector.co. And what it does is correct grammar. And it does that correction in multiple languages: English, French, Spanish, Chinese, Romanian, anything that you can think of. Now, at the time I bought it, it had about 200,000 active monthly visitors. These days, it has about 60,000, and we will discuss the decline of it and why that happened a bit later in this video. But at the time when I purchased it, it was a decent purchase. I only paid 2 times its revenue or its profit for it, so that's pretty cheap as far as SaaS goes. In fact, that's very, very cheap, and I couldn't really see anything wrong with it, right? But obviously the future held a different vision of what might go wrong for me. So the first year I gave all the revenue to the guy that I bought it from, and the second year I could keep all the revenue. And I thought, well, I can build an app around this, a sort of premium version of the language corrector, because as you can see, this is really, really basic. So I built that premium version and I hosted it on this website on a subdomain, premium.corrector.co. Now, do you know how many sales I got from millions and millions of visitors over 3 years on the premium hosted on the website? Because I tracked all of this in analytics. I got 10 to 20 sales, about $1,000. Now, you'd think that 200,000 visitors a month would bring you many, many sales, but I was wrong, because people search for corrector with the terms such as free grammar check. They do not want to buy anything, right? So you can put up all these fancy features in front of them, and the majority just simply do not want it. In addition to that, if your traffic is not United States based, then you'll find the rest of the world is very averse to paying for things. And my app was not expensive. It was $70 a year or $10 a month. But that amount of money to someone in Brazil is a lot of money if they're on a standard salary over there. Even in Spain, that's quite a lot of money for people to part with. So the app didn't really work on the website. But, and there's always a but, I uploaded it to the Windows Store and the Mac Store. On the Mac Store, it did absolutely nothing. I think it's earned $200 in its entire lifetime. Useless. But what I discovered is that a lot of people download solutions for their problems on the Windows Store. Many, many people. So many, in fact, that at one point, the Windows Store revenue from paid subscriptions was more than the advertising revenue from the website. And now I'm going to take you to my Stripe dashboard. And you can see from here, when I launched the app in about September, October 2021, you can see the revenue grow all the way up to roughly £1,800 a month, which is about $2,300 a month. And then from there, we have an eventual decline over time to basically zero, which is what it is now. Now, I'm showing you this because if you're thinking about developing software because you have a great idea, I want you to know that a great idea isn't necessarily enough, because there are external forces that can affect your great idea in ways that you can't control. So that decline in my software, why do you think that happened? Well, I'll tell you. ChatGPT. I can go to ChatGPT, put my entire essay in there, correct the whole thing for grammar. I can restructure the whole thing if I so choose, and it's all completely free. It's free, it's fast, there's no hassle, no registration. Well, there is registration, I think. But the point is, it's really, really good. ChatGPT just beat everyone at this game. So even the OGs in the room, like, what's the Ukrainian company that did language correction at first? Grammarly. That was it. They're pretty much dead in the water now as well because of ChatGPT. I mean, they've brought out their own AI product, but they just can't compete. I'm just a tiny little fish that got swallowed up in the ChatGPT whale. And none of that was really my fault. You can't really predict the future. Now, if I had purchased that website for 3 times its annual profit, which is more normal in the SaaS industry, then I think I would be a little bit down on my income or my return on that investment. But because I purchased well, I think I'm actually ahead by a few tens of thousands of dollars. So what's the lesson in all of this for you? Well, the lesson number 1 is the one I referred to earlier by Warren Buffett. Just make sure you're in the right boat. You know, for example, let's say you started a newspaper today. Well, you and I both know that is a dying industry. Everything has moved online. So your only option is to start a digital newspaper, not a print one. And that's what I mean by being in the wrong boat. If you started a physical newspaper, you'd be in a losing race because fewer and fewer people are using those physical newspapers. When I purchased Corrector, I thought I was going to just reap the income from this for the next 10 years, as long as I put in a bit of effort to SEO and updating the content once in a while. And boy oh boy, as you can see from the graphs, I was very, very wrong. But I learned a lot. And you can learn a lot from my experience too. I learned how to integrate Stripe into an online app, both on a website and embedded in Electron in Windows and Mac, and on the mobile app stores. Those ones didn't do very well either. I also learned that there are certain app stores for certain products that are very, very underserved. So grammar correctors on the Windows App Store, there are only 3 or 4, I think, at last count, including mine. And mine was pretty much the best out of all of them, apart from Language Tool, who was the founder of the software that my website runs on. So I learned a lot from it. I came out ahead in money, which is good. But on the flip side, I could have just got a job at 200 grand a year in Silicon Valley, and I would have come out way, way ahead than the time I'd spent making the app. But you know what? I would do it all again, because I learned a lot, and now I can take those skills and I can recycle them into the next opportunity, the next business to buy or start from scratch, and the next app to publish on the Windows Store. So if you've learned anything from this video, then please leave a comment below or a question if you want any clarification on any of the details of this, and I will respond to every single comment. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.